The Emerging Enterprise Awards are brought to you by OCBC, Asia's best SME bank, and the Business Times.
In a market long dominated by global giants, one homegrown brand is redefining how Southeast Asia approaches grooming. Stryv, which positions itself as the Uniqlo for personal care, has grown from a digital-first startup into a regional player offering premium yet affordable grooming and beauty devices. What began online now spans 17 retail stores across Singapore and Malaysia, with expansion well underway. This year, Evolut Holdings, the company behind Stryv, was named one of the winners of the Emerging Enterprise Awards 2025, a milestone marking their rapid rise and regional impact. And joining us today is Roy Ang, CEO of Evolut Holdings, to talk about the journey, the lessons, and what comes next. Roy, good morning and congratulations.
Good morning, Imar. Thank you so much for having me.
You're most welcome. Now, to start off with, before we get into your growth story, what first inspired you to build Stryv, and what gap did you see in the personal care electronics market that you wanted to fill?
So I started the business in January 2022. Before that, I actually spent about 4 years in Grab. I was one of the founding members of Grab Financial Group. We started a payments business. And I think one of the biggest trends that we've seen across the region is that consumer brands are rising. The problem statement is that a lot of the big brands, global big brands, when they want to launch a new product, they typically focus on the US or China, because the amount of work that you put in to launch a big market like a US is exactly the same as when you launch a Singapore. Regulations, safety mark, etc. So we saw that the market that we are in, it's super underdeveloped, it's not well served. And we felt that there is kind of like a calling for us to really come in, kind of build products for Southeast Asia, and it's built from a Southeast Asia team. Yeah. So we've been doing that for 3 to 4 years. We have about close to 25 retail stores actually as of today, and the company is just growing really fast right now, and we're quite excited about building stuff.
Yeah, you position yourself as offering premium yet accessible personal care tools. I think that's where you stand out. So how has that mission shaped the way that you actually think about product design and the customer experience?
So our model is a bit special. We actually work with the top factories in the world that actually build for big brands. And we have a couple of engineers, and basically what we do is that we talk to our customers firsthand, and we see what are some of the features, the design philosophy that we kind of need to localize for the local market. So there is a lot of back and forth together with our team, engineering team, our design team, and the factory on localizing processes. And I think this is why we are comfortable to say that our product quality is actually up to a certain extent. But at the same time, from a price perspective, because we are very efficient, we predominantly sell directly to customers. We bypass like the distributor, wholesaler, retailer, etc. That's why I think customers can get a really good product, really nicely designed, and it's being priced at a point where I think it's fair for the whole value chain itself.
Yeah, well, your product offering certainly caught the eyes and the ears of the judges at the Emerging Enterprise Awards. So let's move on to that. Which award did you win, and what does winning it mean for you and the team at Evolut?
So we won the Emerging Enterprise Award this year. We are one of the 3 selected companies that have got it out of 600 applicants. And I feel that the biggest takeaway from the award itself is really the recognition. Right? I think post-award, we got so much, inbound partnerships. The credibility really helped us shape us as a brand. It's a really good milestone actually for our team. That small wins that much needed to kind of push through the journey as well. So I think overall we were extremely excited and blessed and grateful for the opportunity that OCBC and Business Times have given us.
Yeah, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears went into the selection process, which was a pretty rigorous one. So we had site visit assessments, we had the judges' pitches as well. What stood out to you from that journey, and how did those stages shape the way that you have reflected on your business or thought about your business differently?
So the whole process is really quite rigorous. So they go through everything from the mission vision of the company. They looked at how big, the market is for this category, how fast your growth is, are you making money? There's ethical aspect as well. And the other thing that was interesting is the panel of judges. So they have a wide variety of people, from Raja and Tan, from Business Times as well, OCBC. So number one is that the whole process of evaluation is quite intense. So we have a team of 2 that really just prepare for this particular event on the page. On the day itself, like the questions asked was like phenomenal. I think it gave us a lot of critical thinking that we probably haven't taught before. And I think the whole process is quite intense, I would say. But I'm glad that the whole team kind of showed up and rise to the occasion.
Yeah, Roy, you've expanded from hairstyling tools into grooming devices, oral care, even co-branded products with major global IPs like Disney and Sanrio. What guided that product diversification and what has resonated most with your customer base?
I think end of the day, we are still really customer first. So the question we ask ourselves is, what are complementary products to our customers that we should kind of build next? So when we first started with a hairdryer, and since then we have expanded to curler, straightener. I think these are all indications from our customers that, hey, by the way, do you have more tools that we can kind of use? And because 80% of the customers are female, they generally buy grooming products for their partners as well. So this is why we started out the shaving related products. And then, I think we just signed a deal with Sanrio to launch a toothbrush with all the different IPs. And this is probably more for their kids. So I think it's really more towards like who we are trying to serve. And then we kind of build complementary products from there.
Yeah, speaking of who you're trying to serve, you've already expanded beyond Singapore into Malaysia, Hong Kong, with plans to enter Indonesia, Taiwan, the Philippines, and Thailand as well. What opportunities and challenges do you anticipate as you scale across the region? There's quite a lot of diversity there.
I think it's twofold. Every new market that we go into, there's a amount of investments that's needed to really build the regulatory infrastructure, to hire a team, to educate the customers who we are, what we stand for. And I think the cost needed is one. Number 2 is that we are a bit more cautious for the next 2 to 3 years just because of geopolitical tension, I think the interest rate ambiguity is there. So consumer in itself, we do see that they are a bit more conservative, I guess. And I think this is something that we are very conscious and we are kind of taking note. And Southeast Asia is so different, right? The behavior is different, the language is different, where they shop is different. And I feel those are things that we doesn't want to rush it. I think we got a lot of data from our previous life. So, I think we're trying to kind of take it one step at a time.
Yeah, not rushing is a good mantra to go by, but I guess customers love instant gratification. So my next question is, looking ahead, what excites you most about the next phase of Evolut Holdings' journey, and what can customers expect from Stryv in the coming year?
That's a really good question. I think for the last 3 to 4 years, we have kind of built a distribution infrastructure. We know how to market to our customers. That makes sense for them. We have a network of retail shops with the tier 1 shopping malls all across the region. We actually have about 2,000 retail touchpoints with all the different big retailers. So the general vision for us is that now that we have successfully built 2 homegrown brands, can we actually partner or acquire other brands that could put into our infrastructure, and we could help them scale a little bit. We can build better products, etc. So I think that is something that is keeping us really busy right now, and we're quite excited. Over the next 6 months, we could potentially acquire 1 or 2 brands.
And how do you anticipate the Emerging Enterprise Award recognition shaping your company's next chapter in terms of growth, in terms of innovation and leadership?
I think first of all, the partnership with OCBC has been phenomenal. They are the first bank that helped us, and I think winning an award anchors that friendship and a partnership with them. Second of all, the recognition of the particular award itself help us with talking to other brands, talking to other investors, people that want to join the company itself, even the customer recognition. I think those are things that is invaluable, that really help us, and we do see that it makes our life a bit more smoother for the next year to come.
Yeah, and the recognition has also given other startups a lot of hope that perhaps one day they can follow in your footsteps. So, final question, Roy, why would you encourage young companies to take part in the Emerging Enterprise Awards?
End of the day, I feel that the process, the people you meet, as well as the rigorous thinking, these are just really good milestones for any companies to go through. When I was at the event ceremony itself, I met up with so many new friends. Other companies that are struggling, like how I do it, we talked about it, we hug each other on that. Like OCBC's network of partners that we could potentially work with down the road. I just find it invaluable that there's a platform for us to kind of help us prosper, help us grow. And I feel that actually a lot of the companies, even if you get into the finalists, I think those are basically values or pointers that you should kind of explore.
All right. Well, it's clear this is just the beginning, and we're all excited to see how you continue shaping the future of personal care across the region. Roy Ang is the CEO of Evolut Holdings. Roy, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, man. Really appreciate it being here.
Stay with Money FM 89.3.
The Emerging Enterprise Awards are brought to you by OCBC, Asia's best SME bank, and the Business Times, recognizing the young, bold ambition of businesses in Asia under 10 years old.